Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Brooke. I live in New York City. I am 24 years old. This is probably a good one to hop in on. We're gonna do a little Q&A life update. Not that I have like the most crazy and exciting of life updates, but I feel like these are great to do periodically to give you guys like a little peek of what is going on, what I've been up to, things that are coming up content-wise, and things that are coming up in just my personal life, which I feel like my personal life is shown in my content. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these, if you like these type of chatty videos to kind of break up the vlogs. Most of the time I do vlogs, like week of my life videos, if you guys don't know, and they are so fun to make, but sometimes I feel like I just get caught up in like, oh, I have to like show everything that I'm doing, and like I forget to just sit down and like have chats with you guys. So that's what today's gonna be. When I'm filming this video, I'm actually about to leave to go on my first trip since last February. I haven't been on a plane since then, so I'm quite excited. I'm gonna see a bunch of my college friends and do a little like Georgia trip, and then we're gonna go to Florida and stay in a beach together. So follow me on Instagram, of course, always for like more live updates, but Q&A time, let's do it. Okay, first up, I guess we'll talk about all things moving related. Is Danielle moving to New York City. If you don't know, Danielle is my podcast partner. I have a podcast called Gals on the Go podcast. It is co-hosted by myself and Danielle Carolyn. Danielle is 2 years younger than me. She just graduated from the University of Georgia, which is also where I went to school, if you didn't know. And she is planning on moving to New York City in the end of the summer probably, or within the next few months. I just saw her. I just posted the vlog from that trip. If you didn't know, she didn't like stay with me, but her and her boyfriend Ryan came and visited. And I don't even know if this was like a question or as much of like a statement. I mean, obviously, like she has her own YouTube channel and like all of that, so you guys can go view her content for related to her move and her plans and things like that. But I think it was just like, how do you feel? Like, what are the thoughts? And I am so beyond excited. If you don't know, we started our podcast 3 years ago when we were in school together. And for the past however many years, like 2, I guess, we've been doing it long distance when I lived in Boston and she was still in school, and then when I moved to New York and she was still in school, and now we are finally going to be back in the same place again. She had always wanted to move to New York, so I'm so happy for her for fulfilling her dreams, and I am so in love with this city, and it's just been such a wonderful place to be, especially in the most recent few months. So I'm so beyond excited to kind of do things with her and be with her, and yeah, it's gonna be great. Coupled with that question, I guess kind of my moving plans, which I have talked about in some vlogs, but I'll just give you guys like the comprehensive update here. I moved into this apartment July 15th last year, which it's kind of coming up July 15th. My lease isn't up technically until July 31st. It started like me thinking, I got my lease renewal like form, and I was like, I don't want to, like, I don't know what to do. I started like panicking. I knew I wanted to move definitely, just at least out of this unit, but I love my building. It has everything that I'm truly looking for in an apartment, which is definitely difficult in New York to get, you know, everything on your list. Apartment hunting in New York is extremely difficult and honestly not the most fun process, just because it's a pretty competitive market and a pretty expensive market, honestly. Just it's ridiculously expensive here. With all those things, I was like, I don't really know what to do. I started getting like really stressed out. I talked to some people who work in my building, and they let me know of a unit that's opening up, and I hopped right on that. I was like, I am totally interested. They told me like about kind of like what it had. That's kind of the thing. I was like, I love this building. I love everything. And like, I'm so lucky and fortunate that I'm able to afford this. I will say I probably didn't sign like the most cost-effective rent the first time. I didn't negotiate at all, which I didn't know you can negotiate. A few of you guys asked me tips for negotiating. I feel like you just have to give them like a price back. Like if they say like, oh, the rent is, let's just say like $2,500, then you just have to go back and be like, can you do it for $22? Can you throw in a free month? Like you just have to be specific in what you're asking for. And why not ask? Like the worst that they could say is no. They're not gonna be like no and like next, you know, like you might as well ask. So anyways, yeah, I heard of this unit that was opening up, and I kind of did like the price negotiations and things like that, figured it all out, and then I was able to go tour last week with my parents, and it really is like everything that I could hope and dream of in an apartment. It is very spacious, I will say, and there's a balcony, so I'm crossing my fingers that it all works out. I haven't like put my pen to the paper and like signed that yet, but as far as I know, I have like the verbal confirmation. I've worked out the pricing and stuff, and I think I could be moving as soon as in June sometime. I don't know when in June, it might be like late June. It might still even be July when my lease is up, but basically they told me they could do some sort of like a situation where they move my lease over. Things will also just be significantly easier because I already have a security deposit with like this building and this company, so it's just making my life a whole lot easier in terms of moving. I don't have to go through all of that. I have an elevator in my building, so moving is really made simple. I probably don't have to hire like external movers. So just life is really like, it's good. So things are really looking up. So that's the plan as of now. So you could kind of start to expect moving content. Crossing my fingers, everything works out as soon as June, which is probably like when this video is going up. So you're probably like, oh my gosh, but that's soon. I am so excited. Kind of on the moving note, not that anybody asked this, but I am going to be kind of refreshing my look to my space. I've had kind of a similar look and feel like since college, in terms of a lot of my furniture, a lot of like my IKEA furniture I've had since college. So I kind of want to upgrade like my dresser and my side table and stuff like that. The content's going to get very exciting. I know you guys love like moving content and like apartment shopping and things like that. I also like will have a balcony that I get to furnish and like do stuff on, which that is like everything to me. I love spending time outside. I go to my roof like every single day, and to have my own like private space and to be able to like, now with the world opening up, to be able to entertain. I've wanted to do that for the longest time here, but you know, it just wasn't really possible to like have parties and stuff. But now with the world opening up and hopefully everybody getting vaccinated, I know I'm double vaccinated, so I hope you guys are too. I'm just so excited. Things are really looking up. You guys know that I owe it all to you. So yeah, what do you want new viewers to know about you? I thought this was interesting because I always forget that there's new people hopping in every time, and some people might not even know, you know, like where I went to college, like where I grew up. So I'll just give you guys like the summary of my life story. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. I grew up in the same town, like stayed there my whole life. It's actually the same town that my parents met at that high school that I went to, and they've been together ever since. So we have lots of roots there. So I lived my life on Long Island, and then I went to the University of Georgia for college. Pretty big life change, if you could imagine, from New York to Georgia, but I loved it. And like I said, all my friends, a lot of my friends, I guess, are still there in terms of like school friends and things like that. Then I decided to move to Boston. I took a job there that didn't last very long, quit the job to pursue YouTube full-time. I've been doing YouTube and social media since I was in high school. Obviously the landscape of things has changed a lot since. I don't know, everything has changed so much. Like when people say like, wow, you've been on it for a while, I'm like, yeah, 10 years. Like it's been a minute, okay? Majored in marketing at school. I'm trying to think of like just like the basics about me. I love sharing my life with you guys. It was always my hope and dream to be able to work for myself. I'm a pretty like entrepreneurial, doing my own thing type of person. So I feel so beyond blessed that this is my life. I live in New York now. I feel like a lot of my content is very like real, in the moment sort of stuff. Welcome if you're new. I guess that's what there is to know about me. Nothing like really crazy. I'm single as of now. I'm trying to get it out there and get after it. I guess that's what I want people to know about me, or like what there is to know. Best book I read recently. I pulled it for you guys. I love this one. Perfect beach read for the summer. So good. It's definitely dense. So when I saw it, I was like, ooh, this is a thick one. Murder mystery meets like a little bit of romance. There's a lot of characters, a lot of moving parts. Takes place in Cape Cod, but then they're from New York. I just really like this one. It says it's Nantucket wedding season, also known as summer. The sight of a bride racing down Main Street is as common as the sun setting, blah blah blah. But it's going to be memorable for all the wrong reasons. After tragedies strikes, the maid of honor is discovered dead in Nantucket Harbor just hours before the ceremony, and everyone in the wedding party is suddenly a suspect. I really like this one. It's called The Perfect Couple by Elin Hilderbrand. Apparently she's a really good author, so I need to check out her other books, but I really like this one. And if you guys have any suggestions for me, as always, leave them down below. I'm trying to get more into nonfiction because I have been reading a lot of like beachy reads, like stuff like that. You can see I've gotten some color because I sit on my roof and I read, and it's been amazing. Are you still going to buy a house? This is the thing with sharing my life, is that I share things probably not before they're ready to be shared, but like what's true to me in the moment. But things change quickly. I feel like we also have to normalize changing opinions. That's one big thing, that like I'll say something, like I'll make a comment and then I'll do something different like 3 weeks later and people are like, are you kidding me? And it's like, I'm just documenting my life and like doing things in this moment. So like, I might change my opinion on things, and that's completely okay. So I talked about this last fall that I was going to buy like a small home on Long Island and work with my dad to kind of fix it up and do that as sort of an investment situation. It was definitely something that we were really focused on, and then we kept pushing it off. We're like, okay, maybe we could do it, you know, later on. Basically, I just want to be smart with my money in terms of investments and stuff like that, and I know that investing in real estate's really great. My dad is a very, like, if you watch my vlogs, you know, like, he's a very like fix it type of person, like in terms of our house and stuff. So he was like really like willing to work with me, and we were gonna like figure out like splitting the profits and stuff like that, because I was gonna buy it, he was gonna help me fix it up. It was gonna be like a fun little project for us. But then honestly, like, life just kind of got in the way and we didn't really find the perfect house. I have a realtor that I work with on Long Island that was like showing me houses, and like none of them really like were the perfect fit, I guess. And then kind of came about the concept of like maybe I should just buy an apartment or like a condo, I guess, in New York City. But then I can't really touch any of those like with the budget that I have right now. I honestly like living in a nice building with a doorman that's updated. I wouldn't want to like have to do a lot of work for it. I'd kind of want it to be move-in ready, but then I was like, maybe buying the real estate is smarter than just renting. I don't know what we want to say. Is it on pause? Is it not happening? I think my goal as of now, and this, like I said, this could change, is going to be to rent until I have enough comfortably saved up to buy. So whether that be 2 years or 5 years, and whether that be a place in the city or a home, I want it to be a place that I want to live though. Because I was going to basically buy something and use it as a rental property, but instead I invested that money into like a stocks and like bonds portfolio that I do like with a financial investor. Don't go based off of your financial decisions with me. Like, no, don't do that. But it is being invested, basically, is the conclusion of the story. Just not in real estate right now. I really like living in rentals. I like the fact that, you know, if something's broken, someone comes and fixes it. I like the amenities that I have in a rental of this type. I'm also still young. I know some people are really pro like real estate and pro doing that, and I think everybody, you know, like invest their money differently and stuff. So like for right now, this is my plan. So whether, like I said, whether that be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, I do hope to buy something for myself. I don't know when that is. And lastly, we're going to do a mental health / therapy update, just because a few of you guys asked about this. I started therapy back, I think in like September, and I've been going steadily since. Of course, like there's some weeks that, you know, I've skipped, like it hasn't been every single week, but pretty much every single week. I feel like it has helped me a lot. I really am a very like pro therapy person, and I know people will say like, oh, like I don't have a reason to be in therapy. I don't really think you need a reason. I know some people like just don't want to do it, and that's okay. But if you have anything that you feel like is an issue that continues to come up with yourself, with your relationships, with your friends, I feel like you could probably benefit from therapy. Just talking to someone, getting the unbiased opinion, getting a different lens of like how to look at things, and also speaking to a professional has helped me so much. This isn't like an ad or anything. I highly recommend it. Honestly, I think it's a bit of a red flag when people are like anti-therapy now, just because of how much it has helped me and allowed me to like, you know, open doors, I guess, like kind of in my brain and like work through things from my past. And not to sit here and say like, or claim that I have like some big trauma, because I really don't. I'm really lucky that I like had a very, very privileged upbringing, and pretty much most of the stuff that I just have to deal with is just like, you know, childhood or teen years, like bullying and stuff. But it is stuff that still sits with you, and I don't even realize how it impacts, you know, my relationships and things like that, because it's just like deep rooted like in my brain. So it's kind of like things that need to be worked through. Of course, there's weeks that I'm like, I don't really want to do this. I've talked about that in vlogs. I know that's also like a really privileged thing to say, like, oh, like I don't want to go to therapy this week. But sometimes it's harder than others. Sometimes I have more to talk about than others. But stepping back and looking at the whole picture, I have found it extremely helpful. I think I started the perfect time. I'm really thankful that I like worked on myself during that period of time, from like September to now, because that was the time that like the world was obviously at a way different place than what it is right now, especially New York. So I really took those months and that time to work on myself, which, I mean, it's never too late to work on yourself. Like, do it now if any time. But I feel like I really did that, not just with therapy, but like just in terms of like my life and like improving my habits. It does feel so much better to be like, okay, like I feel comfortable in who I am, and everybody has their problems and their insecurities and stuff like that. I'm not out here thinking I'm like the most amazing person ever, but it has helped me work through a lot of those things and change the way that I look at myself, which is really cool. So that's gonna wrap up the Q&A. I know that was kind of like, not a sad note, but like a random note to end it on. Like I said, just a little bit of a life catch up for you guys. But once I get back from this trip, you guys can start to expect, like I said, cross my fingers, hopefully the more moving content. And then also just exciting stuff in general with the world opening up in summer. And yeah, I think I'll be doing a lot more like exploring of New York. Love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you on my next video. Bye guys.